On this week's episode, we discuss our dismay.
We talk about bizarre stories like Skittle busts and the Bermuda Triangle.
We attended an Akron Arts Mixer.
And our review of Gretel and Hansel, all coming up on the Seg-Way Podcast. Hey, welcome to the Seg-Way.
Best thing that happened to you on a Thursday.
That's right, recording live in LeBron's backyard.
How you doing?
Dude, this is like the first time in over 10 days that I got 8 hours of sleep.
I'm so proud of you.
I know, when I saw you at the theater, it's kind of like I was jumping up and down, dude. I feel good. I had dreams, man. You know how long it's been since I've had dreams?
I thought you had a Red Bull.
No, I did not. And it's cool because I had a dream about my trip I'm going on, which is crazy because you're leaving for Florida
in like 2 days. Not even. 2 days.
And then in like 4 or 5 days, I'm now going on an impromptu work trip to Boston.
And that works really well for us.
It does.
Yeah.
Because we're both going to be gone. Nobody's going to promote our shit. Good luck if this episode or the next episode even uploads.
I know, right?
The episode in the past, I guess.
Yeah.
Except you got to be prepared when I come back. I'm like, hi, I'm from Boston now. And you'll be like, why are you talking like you're from Boston? Why do you have the accent now?
Like, go Pats.
Yeah, I fucking love Tom Brady.
Speaking of Patriots.
Yeah.
I just watched the Aaron Hernandez.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
On Netflix.
I hope you're not an apologist for him now.
It's fucking sad.
He's still kind of an asshole.
He is an asshole, but it's more sad than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. But more importantly, he's not just an asshole. He's also a murderer, which makes him a piece of shit.
People.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Do you know it was 3? I only thought though it was 1, but it was 3.
Yeah, I remember from like the sports radio talk. Like I haven't. There's a podcast about him.
Yeah,
and then obviously there's a documentary on Netflix about him. I haven't seen either. I only know what was kind of talked about in the sports world.
I mean, technically he wasn't convicted for 3. It was just the 1.
Yeah,
but he got fucking acquitted.
Yeah,
for the 2.
Well, you know, everybody has a little bit of that Ray Lewis luck.
Well, he also had the lawyer that got off Casey Anthony.
Yeah,
which I didn't know that either.
I'm sure that he sleeps very well at night.
I don't think he gives a fuck.
So this was something I didn't talk about before, but it happened today. So Claire sometimes will order Starbucks, and because they have it pre-made, so then you just go pick it up. And she's like, "Hey, will you go pick up Starbucks today?" And I froze. I have a little bit of trauma. You guys don't know this, but my car literally died one day. It was like probably about a month ago now. I live 5 minutes from Starbucks, which I think everybody probably lives 5 minutes from a Starbucks.
At least 10.
But my car, it was a really cold day. My car was fine. I drove there. I went in, got the coffee, and it wouldn't start. So I was like, is it the battery?
Oh, no. Is
it the alternator? I called my dad because he's a mechanic. I didn't just call him because that's what I do. Although, I mean, when in doubt, if it's a mechanical problem. But it ended up being the throttle, so it was like $300.
Today?
No, that was... Dude, you knew about this.
Yeah, I forgot.
Because we had to record our Davey Squires podcast here instead of at my other place. But yeah, so my car's fine. $300, nothing changed.
Yeah, well, your car's like an old man beyond its time because of all the miles you put on it with the thing.
That's true. He's like we both have like a probably a 35-year-old car in terms of human years, but my car's been out in the fields like doing manual labor, and your car, well,
I don't drive my car that much.
Yeah.
Well, I drive a fair amount, well, not as much as you did.
Yeah. So mine's got like almost 200,000 miles.
Car's seen some shit.
And I bought it in 2015 with 17,000 miles. So that's Meals on Wheels for you.
Yeah. So we decided to go back to a fairly new one that we did before, but it was only one time, and that's Ferocious Fears.
Is it new? Is it still new?
I mean, we only did it one time.
That's true. Untapped.
So this is one of my fears. I have a fear of getting injured. Like, I don't want to get hurt. Like, when I was a kid, I didn't do a lot of stuff because I didn't want to, like, break a bone. But that's not the fear I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about a specific injury.
Okay.
And that is doing something to my mouth.
Your mouth?
It's my teeth.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, that teeth scares the shit out of me. Like, I was thinking about, I've seen skateboard videos.
Yeah.
Where, like, the skateboard goes into the mouth and, like, knocks out, like, 40 teeth. But that's kind of my fear is I saw something like a trailer and I was like, oh, what if that just broke her fucking tooth? And I was like, oh man.
How do you feel about the dentist?
I don't like the dentist. I haven't been to the dentist in years. I should go.
Yeah, based on this fear, you should go and make sure that. What if you need a root canal, or what if you need veneers, or what if you need?
I don't know what a veneer is, but I don't want it.
A crown?
Isn't that just a cavity filling?
Nah. Well, it's crown. It can be different things. If you chip your tooth, you can get a crown, or like if it's starting to get chipped away. But I think a filling is more for the...
Okay. I don't know. I hate the dentist too.
Okay.
I hate the dentist.
That seems like a way to prevent... I guess, but you're thinking more freak accident, mess your teeth up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Probably going to the dentist would be a good idea for me, but I don't know how to get past just being scared of like something blowing up and knocking my mouth out.
Okay, so that I think anybody wouldn't want to lose their teeth, although I will say dental implants have come a long way. And for about brushing them, they look good. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So how does this affect you in life? Like, what do you not do because of this fear? Or what do you have to think twice about because of this fear?
It's actually weird. So like it impacts me like sometimes when I clench my teeth probably fairly often, especially if I see like something happening, I instinctually just like clench, just like.
So you might have bruxism, which is teeth grinding.
I don't know. I don't know how to tell if I do.
Do you grind your teeth in your sleep?
I don't know how. How could I tell that?
Well, you could wake up with your mouth hurting. It also can cause headaches.
I mean,
dude, you used to have insane headaches when you woke up. I
still wake up sometimes with headaches.
We need to go back to Dr. Jim.
We're going back after we go.
Good. Yeah, dude, you should look into teeth grinding.
Maybe. I don't know. It could be.
Although with dreaming, they say if you have a dream and your teeth fall out, then that's fear of like stress and disorganization and wanting some type of structure in your life.
I haven't remembered.
And you kind of are unorganized as shit. So maybe if you get like a planner and a schedule, then your teeth will be better and you'll be able to stop grinding your teeth.
Maybe.
Dude, I think I just solved all your problems right here.
Live
on this podcast. A planner.
Yeah.
You can use my old one. All the days will have to be adjusted according to the year because it's 2019.
Yeah.
And I wrote in them, but if you ignore that and the dates, you can totally have it, dude.
We do have a calendar in my house.
So my fear is, and this is my second biggest fear. Well, it's up there with spiders, like I talked about last time. And it's very, very, very common. I have a fear of heights and falling.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I like roller coasters when you're strapped in, but I have like this terrible memory of being like at an Ashtabula. It was probably the Jefferson County Fair.
Oh, okay.
And there was like a Ferris wheel, but you were in like a cage in it, and it spun incredibly. And I was young, and all you had was that bar in front of you, which didn't hold me in. Like I had to like not fully extend, but I had like maybe if you had a protractor. And you put I don't know what that would be, like 70 degrees, 60 degrees. But it was like my arms weren't fully extended, but I had to reach out to hold the bar. Like there was nothing keeping me in my seat. Now I wouldn't fall and die because I was in a cage, but I remember I was in it with my dad and it just started spinning. And I was like, my arms were shaking because I was holding on so tight because I didn't want to fall out of my seat. I don't know, but there's also like it. Okay, so if you were to ask me what other ways... Like, obviously, fears of heights make sense. I feel like it's like a genetic thing where it's like, don't fall off this cliff. We want our species to continue. But here's where it plays into me in weird ways. I can't fly kites because of my fear of heights.
Really?
Me, like, holding a string and it's attached to something way up in the air. I was on a family vacation once, and my uncle had, like, an adult kite where you needed two... It was, like, a huge, like, plane-looking thing, and you needed two handles. And it literally said, like, you must weigh at least... And, I weighed over what you needed to. I think it was probably, like, 120 pounds or 110 pounds. I'm free... I don't really know. But, like, with both arms, he was flying this kite, and they're like, oh, Tyler, do you want to try it? And I was like, no, thank you. Same thing with raising a flag on a pole.
Really?
Something about that freaks me out.
Have you ever been to like the top of like a mountain and looked over the side?
Yeah.
Did that do it for you?
I don't know. Like I don't mind climbing. Climbing up is fine. Climbing down freaks me out. Like I can climb a monument. Like Put-in-Bay has Perry's Monument. I was fine with that. I was just in Arizona in October and I climbed this huge tower that overlooked the Grand Canyon, and that was fine. But if I'm climbing a step ladder, after like the second or third rung, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, somebody holding this thing? Like, and I think it's a balance thing too. I have really bad balance. So it's like trusting the sturdy quality of something along with knowing that I have bad balance. And all it takes for me to lean back a little bit, and I'm probably just like, see ya! Like,
do you ever have that thought where you're like, I have to throw myself off this thing?
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, I've been like painting, or I remember I used to take my dad's really, really old ladder. Like, because I would sometimes make my basketball hoop shorter so I could dunk on it.
Mm-hmm.
But then eventually I'd want to, like, for real play, and I'd want to push it up. So I'd have to take my dad's ladder, which is wooden and rickety, and there's spiders, and it's gross. And then I would have to, like, push up like, some people have, like, a crank on theirs, but mine didn't have a crank. So I had to, like, stand on the ladder and push it up, and that would freak me out. And I had moments where I was like, if I leaned back, like, a couple inches,
you're gone.
Yeah,
Done.
That's it. And I'd be hurt. I wouldn't be dead, but... So I wouldn't say it bothers me in my day-to-day life, but it's weird the way that it does, because I've never found somebody else where heights has affected their ability to, like, fly a kite or something. And maybe...
No. I mean, you're weird.
So if anybody out there feels that way, I also want to start... This is a non sequitur. I want to start a support group for people who have clothing that doesn't exist anymore and is, like, discontinued, but like I have a pair of pants that I really like. It's discontinued, but they're starting to get, like, there's impending holes coming.
Oh no!
What do you do, man?
Buy new pants.
That's another, but it's not the same. It's not. I'm wearing them right now. These are my band pants for a while, but that's another fear for another day.
Okay.
All right, and now it is time for the classic segment, Would You Rather, where we give each other bizarre, off-the-wall scenarios and 3 options that we would prefer, one of them being true, and the other person has to guess.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm so fucking ready. Let's go.
All right, so you are leaving again. We're rehashing this. You're leaving again for your honeymoon.
Woo!
When this comes out, you'll still be gone. Still be gone.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I'll still be gone. I'm gone for 10 days?
Yeah, you're leaving on February 2nd? 3rd, okay.
Tomorrow's the 2nd.
And you're going to Florida?
I'm going to Orlando, Florida.
Okay, cool. So it's warm, it's nice, it's humid.
Cannot fucking wait.
Do you like the humidity, though?
No, but it's not that bad in February. Have you been there in the winter?
That's true. No, I've been somewhere warm in a not warm month, and it's nice.
Arizona?
No, I went in August last time, which sucked.
Yeah, I bet it did.
But anyway, so that's neither here nor there. So you're going to Florida, it's warm, but sometimes it's not warm. Sometimes there's cool fronts, and it gets in the 30s and the 40s. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you guys.
I saw actually on my weather app that happened.
Yeah. So, assuming that happens, what would you rather happen because of that cold front? Would you rather have alligators sneaking into homes for heat? Would you rather have iguanas falling from trees? Or would you rather have the Everglades freeze over and people open ice skating rinks?
Oh, I don't think it would be that cold for the Evergreen for the swamps to freeze over.
Everglades, they're not used to cold weather, man. They get colder faster than
Lake
Erie.
It's still water, though.
I know. I'm pulling shit on my ass here.
It's still water. And I don't want iguanas to follow the trees. It's sad. So I'd rather people open their homes. I don't think they are opening their homes, but I'd rather people open their homes to alligators.
What about crocodiles?
Same.
Okay, cool. So what's happening is they're not dying, but the iguanas are falling from trees.
Oh, poor babies.
They're falling. And they seem like they're dead, but really they're just waiting for it to get warmer, and then they come back and they're fine. Claire actually told me a story. I don't have this cited, so it could be completely made up, but I'm gonna trust her on this. That some guy found them, thought they were dead, put them in his car, and then like when they were in his car, it warmed up, and then they attacked. They were like just large iguanas, and I think. I feel bad because he was trying to maybe do a good thing, unless he was going to eat them.
Make some soup.
Yeah, so you know what? Screw him. So, yeah.
He's got an iguana foot in his mouth.
It comes alive.
He's like, oh!
Dude, it comes alive in his stomach. Oh,
he just ate it.
He just rips out of him like Alien.
Okay, so you know the coronavirus.
Yeah, it's in China. And
yes.
Somebody... I don't know where you're going with this, so yeah, go ahead. No, okay. I do, yes.
It is in China. And in response to that, China is going to they're going to build 2 of the same thing.
Okay.
Would you rather...
Vaccine. 2 of them for 2 lucky contestants.
It is A, 2 hospitals.
Okay.
B, 2 breweries to, drink.
Yes.
Or C, 2 rehab centers to get well.
Does the brewery... Do they have Beyond Burgers?
Probably. It's a brewery.
Oh, man. I just started, like... Every year I find a new fascination. Like, 2 years ago I started loving wineries.
Yeah.
And then I never hated... I still don't like bars because they're too loud. But I do like breweries.
I like breweries a lot.
Breweries have... I don't care about the beer. They have really underrated food.
It's so good. But
Very
also,
underrated.
I like the craft beer, too. So, I mean...
Man. But if they built... See, I believe they're building 2 breweries somewhere in China. But in response to the virus, the Corona Light with the little lime virus, I'm going to say that it probably, let's go rehabilitation centers. 2 of them.
They're building 2 hospitals.
Okay, good. That's good. That's either one of those is fine. You know what? Good. That's good. Good for them.
That's what I saw too. Yeah.
They found a case of it in the United States. And
in Cleveland, right?
Well, in Chicago, but
okay.
he had recently been in Cleveland.
Hell yeah.
Good for us. Good for us. Okay, so what do you know about the Bermuda Triangle?
Fair amount. Why?
I'm just asking.
Okay.
That'll probably be a Paraformal one day. I think that'd be a really good one.
Maybe we could talk about the couple triangles that exist. Like, I know there's the Devil Triangle, Bermuda Triangle, and then the Ridgeway Triangle?
I don't know. Would you rather the Bermuda Triangle was isosceles, scalene? Just kidding. Nobody. Equilateral. Nobody cares. All right, so let's say you went on a trip to the Bermuda Triangle with the intention of finding something unique.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Yes, that would be fun. And it's kind of close to Florida, right? A little south,
south?
Well,
The one of the points is like
hopefully Miami. When I was flying in from Cleveland, I realized that they passed the airport and then turn around over Lake Erie to come in. So maybe going to Orlando, they'll pass Orlando and turn around over the Bermuda Triangle, and then we'll see you in like 45 years when we find you.
Okay, cool.
So Bermuda Triangle, you go on a trip, you're looking for stuff. Would you rather find a lost 95-year-old ship? Would you rather find a spaceship at the bottom of the ocean that is not human? Or would you rather find the remains of a prehistoric sea creature?
You already know what the answer is. It's B. I want B.
Yeah, that's true. But do you think it's B?
No.
Yeah, I know. It'd be cool.
I don't know. Probably a ship, some shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they found the SS Cotopaxi? Listen, this isn't a spelling reading contest. It was found in St. Augustine, Florida. It was bound for Cuba in 1925. Mm-hmm. It's actually, I guess, pretty popular. Like, Steven Spielberg actually put it in his film Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Is it one that just, like, vanished one day?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and they found it.
This is a fun one. There was recently, on Wheel of Fortune, a contestant.
Okay, this is great because I never watch it, so I would have no prior information.
And they gave a answer that was NSFW, which, not safe for work.
Yes. I had to look that up, by the way, because I kept seeing articles that said that, and I was like, what does this mean? I knew it was kind of risky.
You found a lot of porn.
Yeah. Yeah. At work, no.
All right, so it's a 2-word answer. At the end of it has NG, so you can assume it's ING.
Yeah.
And then the other word has A in it.
Okay.
So
this would probably be much better visually.
Would you rather the answer be A, sucking balls, B, eating ass, or C, chasing tail?
Interesting. Well, chasing tail is certainly the least bad in terms of blatantly, sexual. And I imagine that's the answer. Whenever I hear the phrase eating ass, it always makes me think of Dwayne Wade because, like, I don't know if it was an accidental message or something got out between Gabriel Union and Dwayne Wade where, like, they were like, they do that. And it was just kind of like, that's not what I didn't need to know that. So, yeah, for Dwayne Wade, I'm going to say eating ass.
Okay. The answer is, of course, the one that's not really NSFW.
Chasing tail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, chasing tail. And they're like, no, the answer was, you silly girl, it's kicking back.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
That's not even that bad.
It could have been either, honestly. Okay. But I originally wrote eating dicks, and I was like, oh, wait, there's no I in. There's that's no A true. In dicks.
That makes me think of the South Park one, though.
I know, I would thought of that same thing.
Naggers. So, let me ask you, do you use DoorDash or Grubhub or anything like that?
I want to. I haven't tried.
Don't do it?
It's
so addicting.
All right.
It's too easy. Easy. Because one of the things that stops me from eating shit and just eating terrible, terrible food is the fact that you have to go out and get it. You have to go and order, you know what I mean? But, like, how nice would it be if you're like, oh, I could eat Chili's. I really shouldn't. Oh, look, I just ordered it. It'll be here in 30 minutes. I don't have to leave. Like,
You could DoorDash salads.
Anyway, so you don't use them.
No, I don't.
Okay. So let's say you decided to get one of those types of delivery things, and you're like, I could really go for McDonald's. Yes, I really want a Big Mac. Would you prefer that the driver got arrested and then the police ended up delivering you your food? Would you prefer to find a heroin needle in your French fries, golden and delicious? Or would you rather that your driver, for some reason, put your McDonald's in your mailbox and then you found your food 2 days later?
Well, I would rather it was A, because at least I get the food.
That's true. The mailbox one would suck, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I think in the moment I'd be really pissed, and then like a day later or two I'd laugh about it.
Yeah.
So what happened is I'm gonna wreck this too. Nottinghamshire.
Is it England?
Yeah, it's in the UK.
Okay. Nottinghamshire.
There's a ham in there though.
They don't pronounce it. They don't pronounce the ham the same way we do.
In England, a driver did not have the correct level of insurance. His car was seized, but the police officer was very kind enough to go and deliver the McDonald's.
That's kind
to the person. So that was, that's nice of him. Very kind of him.
That'd be so scary. Cops knock on your door, like, what do I do?
Did you get a Big Mac, you fat ass?
Oh, he's British though. So did you get a Big Mac?
Well, so I fries.
Okay. So for Valentine's Day, it's coming up. There is a candy that is going to be delivered. And also is a present too. Would you rather it is A, Twizzler penis, B, a Starburst Starry Night, like the
Van Gogh thing?
Yeah, the Van Gogh redone Starry Night in Starbursts.
Okay.
Or C, a Skittles bust of yourself.
Oh, dude. Who broke it was a Lego bust. Gronkowski broke Steve Harvey's Lego bust.
Oh,
Did you see that?
No, was that recent?
They were doing hosting something. I can't remember what they were hosting, like the ESPY Awards, ESPN Awards, something stupid like that. And they literally made Steve Harvey a bust of himself with Legos, and Gronk just picked it up and slammed it down, and you could tell that Steve Harvey was pissed. He's like, "Who let this guy on?" Okay, so anyway, so what would you say about me if I wanted Twizzler penis? Like, I'm not Cedric.
I mean, I think you just...
I'm not the meme machine.
I think you just like Twizzlers.
Nah, I'm good. I wouldn't see a bust of myself would be cool, because then, like 30 years I could look back. Well, it'd probably be done. Now, if it was M&M's, I would absolutely eat a bust of myself of M&M's.
Yeah.
I really like Starry Night in general. Like, I know that's like everybody.
I like it.
It's cool. I think it's done really well. I have a Star Wars shirt which is like that, Starry Night. What did you say it was made out of?
Starburst.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with that.
I wish it was.
Me too.
That is not the answer. You can get a cauliflower Starburst bust of yourself sent to your significant other.
That's so it would be me. Yes. So you would send a bust of yourself to Stephanie.
Yes.
And okay. Seems like you would send them, but whatever.
No, I think it's like a picture of yourself. But
what about both of you together?
I think that might be double. So this segment is second week scene, which is fairly new. This is only the second time doing it because it's only been, it's the second month. But on the 26th, we went to the Center's Arts Gathering.
Mixer thing.
Mixer.
Creative people to mingle.
So we went up there. We didn't meet. We met up there. We parked in the parking lot. We met up. And we walked in through, which did not seem like the front door. But there was a big, graffitied sign that said the center, this way. I was like, it's got to be this way.
It was the way everybody else came in.
Yeah, it was.
For what it's worth.
So we went there, and we said, hi, we're the Seg-Way Podcast. You might know us. We're here. And they said, oh, yeah, you're the first ones here. Have a seat, because we're fucking nerds. We got there first.
Yeah, we weren't early, though.
No, we were right on time.
We were right on time, but not early.
Generally, after that, a couple people trickled in. We got to meet, oh god, what were their names?
Which ones?
The theater people.
The first two?
Yeah.
And one of them oh man, she's probably going to listen to this.
I know, right? They worked at Firestone.
Yeah, she had, I think, three names. It was like Mary something, or Elizabeth something.
Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
The other guy's name wasn't Mark Zimmerman?
I think it was Mark. I don't know his last name.
I think it was Zimmerman, because I was like, that's a bad name to have. And then we talked for what? As long as I could.
3 hours.
It felt like 3 hours.
Well, we were there for 3 hours.
Yeah, but it wasn't just to them.
Oh, yeah. So we walked in, and it was kind of like it's a small theater setting. There were a couple tables set up for us to talk. Nikki Romo ran the event. If you're familiar with her, she's big in the Akron theater world.
Yeah, she's part of Wandering Aesthetics.
Right.
Yeah. So,
we got coffee and tea and stuff, which was cool. She was giving me a hard time because I hadn't come to anything recently, which is totally fair and justified. I hadn't. No. Not justified myself that I haven't gone, but justified for her to rib me about it. But it was good catching up with her because I hadn't talked to her in a long time. And so it's us and then these two people from Firestone. But it was actually cool because it was I really hate talking about us. I much prefer listening.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I'm talking to somebody and listening, I have really good eye contact. And as soon as they're like, well, what do you do? I'm like, I'm going to look down. Don't look at me. I really don't want to talk. It's like, I just have this innate feeling of like, nobody should care what we're doing.
I mean, you pitched it really well, though.
Yeah, I just wasn't looking at them. But so it was cool because they were asking us questions like, what platform do you guys use? And we're like, oh, we use Podbean. And they're like, oh, well, we use SoundCloud. I'm like, oh, we started on SoundCloud. So it was cool because it wasn't just like about what we do. It was like the structure. We were able to give them advice.
It was like inside stuff.
Because their schools, yeah.
Yeah, he was teaching a podcasting class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember he said that student was like, how come we're not doing it live? It's like, if you want every other word to be or like then sure, go for it. And then 2 more people immediately trickled in. There was an improvisational jazz musician, Dawn.
Which he thought was funny.
Yeah, I'll explain that situation.
Yeah.
And then Sarah, who does improv and comedy videos.
Right.
They sat at a different table at first. But it was here's where I messed up. Because you know when you start, you're on a subject. And then when you switch to another subject, your brain is still on the original one. Like it doesn't switch over. Because so we were talking to Sarah a little bit, and she was talking about how she does improvisational comedy, and she does it by herself. She's a solo person. She gets people up involved or whatever. So then when Dawn was like, I do improvisational music, I play the trumpet. I was like, how do you? But like, where the jokes come in? and then he mentioned like, oh yeah, sometimes they laugh or whatever. And then it literally took me like 4 or 5 minutes where I was like, oh. You just mean improvisational music.
Yeah, not comedy.
Not comedy. Yeah. And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, shit. So then when he came over, I kind of had to explain that again.
You were fine.
I don't think he was offended. Because I explained myself. But it was just funny because my mind was stuck on improvisational comedy. So then when he started talking about improvisational music, I was thinking like Flight of the Conchords or Tenacious D.
I know what you're talking about.
I was like, okay, because he's like, yeah, I just do with whoever. It doesn't matter what's there. I'm like, wow, that's okay. Your trumpet making people laugh. Not the case. But it's cool, it was meant for exactly what we wanted it to be. It was a good networking opportunity. One of our old friends, Dan Ward, came in, so it was good catching up with him. He'd been in China for a long time.
And we might have something coming up with him. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he has a really potentially cool event happening.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
For gamers.
Yes.
In August, but we'll get more on that later. Yeah, so we might be working with him a little bit. So yeah, fingers crossed that comes to fruition.
And overall, it was a good time. I'm glad we went, even though the introvert in me was like screaming.
We decided that we were going to go for at least an hour.
Yeah.
Because it switched. It was originally supposed to be one Sunday, and then it was bad weather, so they moved it to the 2nd, and then that was the Super Bowl, so then they moved it to the 26th. So it's like, man, like, can we just pick a day? So we were like, yeah, let's go for at least an hour. And we stayed the whole entire time.
Yeah, we did.
It was really cool. And it was a good time. So I think they want to do it. They said they do it quarterly.
Yeah.
So I think they said the next one's in March or April, something like that.
I think April, right?
It makes sense, but it might be March. Either way, they do this quarterly. It's a great opportunity to meet other people, not necessarily in your genre of creativity. I mean, musicians, school teachers doing, like, they were talking about their theater, like their play.
Yeah.
Improv, so it was a really cool balance of different people and different things. So that it was really fun for that, and just a good opportunity to kind of talk about what you do in network. Which leads us into the second half of this segment. So we talked about the second week scene that we just did. So now we're going to talk about the next one that we plan on doing in March, which is, it came from that event.
Yes.
Sarah, who does improv videos, funny videos on her Instagram. You can check her out.
She's actually very funny.
Yeah, she is. He says actually. He's like, she's a girl, but for a girl. I
think you're projecting.
I am. No, she's hilarious because I went through Instagram and I was like, dude, you got to check some of these out. And I showed Charlie one and we were laughing. I think it's Sarah Yeager. I think there's a letter in between. I think it's like Sarah.
I think it's Yeager.
That's what I said.
You said Yeager.
I think it's an E and an A.
I remember she pronounced it Jaeger.
Okay.
It was like,
well, I'm pronouncing it the way for you guys to look it up. She's going to pronounce it the way that her mom told her that was her name.
I guess you're right.
But she, every first and third Thursday of the month, because the best thing always happens to you on a Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
She runs improv classes. And, I mean, we try and keep in the game.
We're going to get back on the tricycle. And
yeah, with our sponsorship, segments, we try things out a little bit. But, we're ready to...
They're like, we're so glad you're going to take classes again.
Yeah, like maybe the podcast will get good. But so March 5th, the day before my 28th birthday, we are planning on taking her improv class and knocking some of the rust off.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to do it with us because it's a class. It's not it's not a performance. You know, you just go and you learn and you have fun. I'm assuming. I guess.
I think so.
I have no idea what happens.
I have to look more into it.
She might be killing us, and then she harnesses that energy for her creative videos, and she has a gun to your head and says, "You're gonna fucking act in this video. Look surprised. I'm gonna kill you when this is done. We're gonna get 500 likes." So that's gonna be our second week scene that we're gonna go to in March. That's the 5th. Improv. Sarah Jaegerbaum. Come check it out. All right, y'all. For this second week cinema, we decided to go see not Hansel and Gretel. No. We went and saw Gretel and Hansel.
I think because the plot was more about Gretel.
It was. It's actually ironic. Well, I guess it was based on this idea. But like how we were talking about when we went to go to Nana Brew, how Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is more about Willy Wonka, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is more about Charlie.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're not getting stuck on this name. So you guys already know what happens. But I'll still give you like a little overview. So you have Gretel and Hansel, and they're trying to make money. Obviously, they're not in a good, healthy situation at home. After a failed attempt, which was almost rape, she's kicked out of the house and basically said, you know, dig your own grave. And along the way, they meet somebody who kind of gives them some tips on where to go. And he gives them a map, and they never look at the map for the rest of the movie. Apparently, they never actually took it. And they get lost at a witch's house. None of that spoilers. This is Brothers Grimm stuff. Y'all should know this. And so it goes according to plan, except it's definitely got more of a feministic lens looking through Gretel, which I'm cool with. And that's not a negative. Like I said, my tone always lends to sarcasm. But this is a feministic lens on a old fairy tale. Would you agree?
Is it?
Yeah, would you say it's not?
I want to hear what you have to say about it. I didn't see that.
Okay.
I just didn't see.
Do you want to get that into plot?
Yeah.
Okay. So without further ado, let us unpack Gretel and Hansel using our patented pack scale.
Plot.
Okay, so let's maybe do you want to do some minor things and then get into the previous conversation we just had, or do you just want to jump right into that?
Let's just go into what we were talking about.
Okay, so if somebody were to say, write a essay regarding how men are portrayed and how women are portrayed, how would you break that down?
For this movie or for that?
No, for this movie, yeah.
I mean, I guess men are portrayed as the protectors, and women were portrayed as weaker, but not really. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'd say, I guess.
See, I would say the exact opposite. Like, how are we introduced to men in this film? We start off with the creepy guy who clearly wants to rape a young girl. Mm-hmm. The huntsman's actually pretty cool.
That's what
he gives them direction. But then look at Gretel versus Hansel. How is Gretel and the witch displayed? They're smart. They're calculated. They're one with nature. They don't give in to greed. They care about nature. They're vegetarian. And then you have Hansel and the original man, who it's all about destruction. I want the axe. I want to get out there and chop down these trees. I don't care. I'm going to eat all the meat. I don't care what it is. I'm going to just get my fill. And so it's I feel like it's got like the look that Hansel and the guys are kind of do their own thing and they just give into their inhibitions, where like the women, like the witch is trying to get Gretel and to be like, you're smarter than this. You're better than this. You can control this dark energy, and I'm going to teach you how. Because we can pay attention to things. Think about when they were playing chess. What does she say about the king versus what she said about the queen? The king is afraid of the queen because the queen can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't mean this in like I'm an angry man because they made guys look weak. I'm just saying, because I don't care about that.
I'm glad you're doing it, because I really didn't see any of this during the movie.
Gotcha. I was kind of looking for it with the Gretel and Hansel.
Yeah.
I was kind of seeing, but it makes sense because she's the lead character, but it's like the lead character being led by the witch, and then paying attention to how Hansel was, just, I want to chop everything down. I don't care. I'm hungry. I want food now. Like giving into those inhibitions.
But who taught him how? I mean, it's a little spoilery.
And they don't even have a dad. Their dad was left out of the story completely.
That's true.
So, not for better or worse, like this isn't judgmental. I think the film chose to take that lens, and I think it was fine. I actually don't have a problem with that. Out of many things that I have a problem with, that's just a fact in my opinion. I think that was their take.
I think it's so subtle I didn't even see it.
Okay.
Which, I mean, like, I like to diagnose movies. I like to tear movies apart. It was so subtle. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot.
Everybody picks up on different things, dude. Everybody picks up on different things.
Well, now I feel stupid for not looking for it, but I did not. I
guarantee you're going to mention something in here that I didn't notice. So, okay, so that aside, because that's part of the plot, but that isn't really make it or break it anyway for me. I think that's just a stylistic choice, which I'm not going to knock them for, because, that's what makes this different than previous renditions. Left with a lot of questions.
Yes.
They pretty much set up this folk tale within the story of like, this is why children should be cautious and not accept gifts. But there's a main character from that story, which I guess talking through it with you after we left made it a little bit more sense. But there were just things, it just felt very disorganized. Yes.
Yeah. It felt like there was a plot and B plot, and you expected them to mix, and they kind of did.
Here's another thing plot wise. They had the get high scene.
Yeah.
What is up with that in movies now?
I don't know. I expected that to be a very pivotal scene where something terrible happened.
Yeah. I think the point of that is, it's actually ironic because it didn't work out, is it was showing, she does talk to nature. It is furthering her characteristic abilities of being able to be one with nature. Because she spoke to it. Mm-hmm. But I just watched The Good Dinosaur for the first time.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in that where they get high. I'm like, what's up with these movies where people are just having...
Did you like The Good Dinosaur?
No.
I didn't either.
Not at all.
No.
But that's neither here nor there.
Right.
So what I kind of took over with the feministic lens. What were some of your plot thoughts on thoughts on Gretel and Hansel?
I felt like they didn't do too much with it outside of like extending the story. It felt almost like a scary fairy tale. It felt like a horror movie that forgot about the horror.
There were moments that were freaky, though.
Yeah, a couple freaky moments, but like, I don't want to get too spoilery. It didn't climax to a satisfying climax. It didn't get to a satisfying climax for me. There were symbolic things that I was like, what the fuck's the point of that? What's the fuck the point of that? Why was that there? There were a lot of symbolic questions that they presented.
Do you have one?
They didn't. Yeah, there was a pentagram on a tree. I didn't get that.
Well, witchcraft, right?
Okay, I mean,
and that was around the witch's house.
Yeah,
so.
But it didn't make sense why that was on that particular tree.
See, I'm more okay with that. Where I'm more confused that the huntsman's place had an upside down cross.
That wasn't the huntsman's place.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Because they were laying... Or was he just...
I think he was just traveling.
He was just traveling.
And he just randomly showed up, which is bad writing.
That makes so much more sense. And speaking of the huntsman, this is pointless, and I mentioned it already, but I'm going to say it again. He literally said, here's a map. It shows you where to go. Don't get lost. And then that leads to the scene where they get high or whatever. But I never see either one of them looking at the directions saying which way. Like we didn't even get that lost moment where like, was this the right way or is this like?
Yeah, no.
We never see them using that ever again. So a lot of other things can kind of dive in other categories. So and to keep this moving, I gave the plot a 3. It went as expected. It didn't add anything. It was fine.
I gave it 2 because there are a lot of weaknesses to the plot and it was not different.
So we're starting with a score of 5.
Pacing.
Now, Tyler, I know you like horror movies.
Horror movies?
Horror movies.
I do love horror movies. It is my favorite genre.
I know they go slow.
Yes.
This was painfully slow. This was pulling my teeth out one at a time slow. Especially after we just talked about the dentist. This is fucking slow. A snail is just like, man, what's going on over there? I'm going to go by. It was so slow. I don't know how many times I can say it.
Got passed by a glacier.
Yes. It was monotonous.
There are moments I definitely agree. I think as a whole, it never hit its stride. I'm cool with slow pace. But I actually think that this movie started too quickly. It was like, boom, she's trying to get a job. Boom, her mom is crazy. Boom, they're on their own. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't even get... And then from that moment until probably almost an hour in, it was like when Gretel, when she started putting things together, is when the pace started getting where I think it should have been the entire time. Where it was like there was good moments.
Yes, I agree with that.
So I would say first 10 minutes, the stasis of the film was just way too fast, We didn't get a chance to adjust. Maybe that's what they were going for. You can always say stylistically what they were trying to do. The whole scene with their mom was just, I didn't like it.
Oh no,
I pulled nothing from it. So that was too fast. I would say the ending was too fast.
I think the mom was just trying to be creepy. I was like, fuck you, lady.
They spent the entire time slowly building to the ending, and the ending happened like 2 seconds. It was
so fast.
There was very
you're
little...
right. It was very inaccurate.
There was very little tension.
Yes. The beginning was too fast.
Too fast.
I agree with you, actually.
Beginning was way too fast. Then it was way too slow. And then I would say there's probably about a 15-minute period where it actually had a good stride. It now, as a whole, not good stride. But there's about probably 15 minutes when she started piecing together like what was happening. And she was starting to get... There's a really, really good scene where Gretel is sitting down with the witch. And Gretel tried to get the upper hand, and the witch just called her out on it.
That was my favorite scene.
That scene was just fantastic. I was like, oh, that was there was many moments in this movie where I was taken out of it to diagnose, and that was one where I took myself out of it to applaud the film. Like, instead of being like, oh man, or, like, I actually took myself out of it being somebody watching with a critical eye and was like, this should have been more...
That should have been the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, you showed you can do it. Yes. Now do the whole thing like that.
Because there was the most tension, in my opinion.
Yes.
I mean, maybe it doesn't help that this wasn't a brand new story. Like, you kind of went into it knowing, and maybe that hurt it, in my opinion, a little bit.
No, I don't think that. I mean, there's movies that you've seen that have been remakes.
That
do good things. I say things.
So I would say fast, too slow, hit its stride, finally, too fast, left with questions.
Oh, but the slow parts, they were fucking killing me.
There were moments where I was like, something has to happen. Like, we get it. We know too much for these moments to carry any weight.
Exactly.
We know the story. We know who she is. We know what she's trying to do. We know who she's targeting. We don't need these little scenes of, like, foreshadowing. We already know what's going to happen. Either put something new in it, or let's get going.
Yeah.
I gave it a 2.
I gave it a 0.
Wow. A pacing score of 0.
Yeah.
You're fighting for that, not feeling it.
I gave it a 0.
Hey, you know what? This is the very first 0 we've ever given. We saw Dora, the Explorer. We saw Rambo, which is actually a good time. We've eaten at Fisher's Cafe and Pub. But the first 0 goes to Gretel and Hansel. This is what Charlie says he cares about, the feministic approach. He's pretty much saying he hates women. That's going to be trending on Twitter.
Oh, no.
Hashtag Charlie hates women.
You know what? Any publicity is good publicity.
So that is a score of 2 for a grand total currently of 7.
Acting.
All right, let me... I feel like I have to be kind and then go into what I really want to say. I really, 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 really liked Sophia Lillis's performance in It. She killed it in It. I can't understate how great she was in the film It. But we didn't see It today, did we, Charlie?
No, we did not.
No, we did not.
We saw Gretel and Hansel.
We saw Gretel and Hansel. So let me... I'll be relatively quick with this because there's only so much... It's a small cast.
Yes, it is. Actually, I like that.
If you count people that last for like 30 seconds... And with
like
there's a lot of kids, I guess. The kids
yeah,
there's like 7. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 7. I really like the Huntsman, by the way.
I did
Very
too.
brief, but he had a certain charisma.
He had a lot of depth to him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, by the way, I'm going to applaud one person. Hansel was fine for a little kid. He's a little kid. He did better than Jake Lloyd did in The Phantom Menace. And I'll give him this. And I didn't look up the actor's name, so shame on me. But
the boy?
Hansel.
I looked it up.
What is it?
Oh, Samuel Leakey.
Samuel Leakey?
Leakey.
Okay. As far as child acting goes, he was fine. He felt the part. His voice, his acting, he felt like a little kid in this time period. He was great. And I want to extra applaud Alice Cridge. I don't know if I'm saying her last name right. I think I'm failing on just last names in general today. She was fantastic as the witch. I thought her performance was great. Now, okay, so that's my applauding. And that's pretty much the whole cast. Sophia Lillis had really, really... And this is really hard to do. So I give her... Like, this isn't backhanded comment. She did really, really good physical acting. Emotion, Like, she was really good at conveying how she felt in every single scene without having to speak. Whether it was like a quiet smile where it's like, I do have power, and I like this, or it's that unnerving, fear or grimace. Like, she did really well with physical cues that let us know her thoughts and her mindset.
With you, yeah.
Now her speaking. It literally, and I told Charlie this as we left, the promo video probably will have me saying this. It felt like they took a teenager from now, the 2020, 2019, and threw her in this time. Where the boy and the witch and the huntsman and everybody had this like old schooly, like medieval folklore, Brothers Grimm way of speaking. Like, she was saying stuff like, obviously. Like, yeah. Obviously. It took me out. I was like... And it bummed me out, because one of the reasons I was actually excited to watch this film is because I liked her as an actress. And like I said, she kills it in the physical moments. Like, she kills it. But when she speaks, sometimes it's just like, oh, you don't belong. And maybe that's better than if she tried to fake it. I don't know. What? So that's an overview of my thought on the acting. Where were you at with this?
I thought the witch was very good. I thought she was spooky. She had a presence. The boy... I don't know how old he was, but he couldn't be that old. I thought he actually
8 or 9.
In
real life,
he did really well for his age. Physically, the boy was pretty good too.
Yeah,
physically, the whole movie was pretty solid.
I would agree,
but there was a disconnect in the lead's performance. There was a disconnect,
which is always a bad sign.
Yes,
because you're the lead. And it's if anybody watches this film, it'd be interesting to hear your guys' take on this. Maybe we're overreacting a little, but I wasn't like biased going into this. I was rooting for her. I wasn't kidding. I liked her a lot from It. And part of the reason why I wanted to go see this movie is because I thought she was a really good actress. And she is a good actress. I just don't think this was a good role in terms of like bringing that. Like, but it's also kind of like making a stubborn girl, because it's like that, like she's empowering. She empowers herself. That's part of the feministic approach that I think they took, which is fine and I'm cool with. But it made it, the way she spoke, it seemed very much like today's English rather than like what they were going for. And if the whole film was like that, that'd be okay. But the fact that everybody else was more what you'd expect in a Brothers Grimm, adaptation, and then what she brought, it just, the dialect didn't feel right. It took me out.
What'd you give it?
I did give it a 3.
I give it a 3 as well. I thought it was not like a minor thing, but like it made sense that they still tried. The acting wasn't the worst part of this movie.
No. So that is a combined score of 6, which puts us at 13.
Cinematography.
The movie is almost monotone in this category. It's a lot of greens. It's a lot of blacks. There is one pop of color, but it's not seen very often. The wood shots were pretty. I thought, like, looking up was pretty. But other than that, nothing made me... like in, God, what was that movie? The Knifing?
Knives Out?
Yeah. The Knifing. Knives Out there was those beautiful scenes of the house. I don't know why that's my prime example all the time. I think because we did rate it average.
Like we have to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
That's like, well, that I would say that Knives Out was the first time that we had to completely differentiate scene design
versus setting
and cinematography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think there were any like beautiful shots. No, I don't think anything was super interesting that they did with the camera, except for like one scene where they looked up. But that's about it. I don't know. Do you agree with me at all?
No.
That's fine.
I think this is the excelling point of the movie. I thought that the wood scenes were done fantastic. Like the whole, like when you were saying like that it has like it's trying to be scary without like having pop-up scares or anything. I think this is where it hits home. Like where I think the pacing missed, I think the plot missed, and I think Sophia Lillis's voice acting missed. I think that the tone that was set by the cinematography was 100% on. The dark scenes were done super well. There were so many different unique camera shots. Like there were moments where they were behind them walking, and it was almost like it was a handheld, like found where it was bouncing. And then some of the shots, it's interesting in terms of close-ups versus like perspective. Like they did a lot of point of views where first they would have Hansel's point of view, then they'd have Gretel's point of view. And this is probably where it's biased for me. I love horror movies where there's stuff in the background. And that was one of the main reasons I liked The Conjuring. That's one of the main reasons I liked Haunting Hill House. Now they're not as background as you would, they're not like hidden things, but the people that they would have walking in the woods and stuff, I just think that was incredibly creepy. They did a really good job with that. Also, which I'm going to credit the cinematography, one of the symbolisms that I really liked, I'm interested to see if you caught it. Did you catch anything with the sky?
No.
Okay. So before they find the witch, they show a shot of the sky and it's clear and starry. It's ironic. They show Orion's belt, and Orion did the film. This was an Orion's production.
That's funny.
So at first I was kind of like, oh, of course you're going to show Orion's belt when this is an Orion production. I'm like, maybe they do that in all their films. I'm not familiar. But they show a clear sky. Then they meet the witch. And then the next time they show a sky shot, it's like misty, but they have like almost a new moon, like a sliver of a moon. And then the next time they show the sky, when Gretel gets a little bit deeper, it's a little bit darker, and then they show more of a moon. So it's like they're going from the clear into the darkness and like the mysterious and stuff.
I thought they were gonna end it on. Well, that's spoilery. Never mind.
There's a lot of really dark scenes in here where it's either nighttime. I think they use the witch's house really well with the angles. The eye shots where they're creeping in and they're looking at the food. I thought there were a lot of stylistic choices that they made that were really good. And I think I was also latching on to something just to like it. I think I wanted to like something. And I mean, they claim it's a dark fantasy, but anything that had like a horroristic approach, I think in terms of tone and just scenery, I thought the cinematography nailed it. That's my opinion.
I think whether you're talking about the people in the woods,
yeah,
that started creepy, and then it got repetitive because they didn't answer any questions.
Is it cinematography's? Is that plot though that they didn't answer questions, or can you blame cinematography for that?
Yeah, because it was the same thing. If it had varied, maybe.
I think it was supposed to be that like you're always being watched. There's always people out there.
It got so if you live in a haunted house and the ghost keeps popping on the same spot, you're like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Well, okay, so I gave this a 5. What did you give it?
I give it a 2.
Okay, so that is a score of 7, which puts us exactly at 20 going into the final category.
Dialogue.
One of the things that I like to point out is, in terms of dialogue, is whether or not I can remember a phrase. I can't.
I can't either.
There's actually I remember thinking about this while watching it, and when they're playing chess, and she makes the comment about the king fears the queen because the queen can go anywhere, and that's paraphrasing, and I'll give it credit for that. And there was that moment, and there was another thing the witch said, specifically the witch, where I was like, oh, that's pretty good. So there were moments watching it, I remember being like, oh, this is pretty good, but they didn't, like, at this point in time, can't really remember. One thing I did like, I don't really think this falls under dialogue, but there's this thing that the brother and Hansel and Gretel have where they grab each other and they snort like we're little piggies.
Yeah, I think that would fall under dialogue.
I like that. I like repetition. I like callbacks.
I thought it was going to be used against him, and
it comes out outside of Hansel and Gretel. It happens twice. The mom says it in like a really like
mocking.
Yeah, like, you guys like go dig your own graves. Ha, yeah. Snort.
Yeah.
But then the witch uses it later, and I actually really like that moment because there's no reason she should know that they say that. And that's when, like that's one of the things we already know. We know you're a witch. We know Hansel and Gretel. We know Gretel and Hansel. We know how the story goes. But that's like, I think because the witch calls Gretel a woman, and Hansel's like, oh, she's not a woman.
Yeah.
And you could almost see the witch get a little pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, well, what is she then? Is she a snake? Is she this?
That was good acting.
Is she a pig?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like oh shit. That was, you know what? That wasn't. There's nothing that would make me change my score based on that. But that was a really good moment.
I think snake is a biblical reference.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But that not enough to carry a film. But in terms of dialogue, that's one of the things that, like the snorting callbacks that they do as each other to show their bond, and then the way it's kind of manipulated by the adults that surround them. I like that. I did that. That is one thing I really did like.
I thought it was to go off that. I thought the manipulation by the witch of the was interesting.
Yes.
I did like that. However, I don't think the dialogue itself was compelling, and also there was a disconnect between their monologues. There's a couple monologues of over some things happening in the film, and there was too much distance for them to be something I liked.
What do you mean? I'm a little confused.
I forgot it was gonna happen, so when it happened again, I was like, what the fuck is that? Why is she doing that again? Like, it was in the beginning, like the monologue over it, and then she did it in the woods.
Oh, you're talking about the voiceover.
Yeah, the voiceovers.
Voiceovers, gotcha.
Sorry. Yeah, the voiceovers, like, it was inconsistent to me.
With what?
With how much time they used it. Like, where they used them didn't make sense to me.
Okay. See, and I wrote down voiceover as well, because it felt overused to me.
Yeah.
But part of it is because she has no one to talk to. So when she's trying to get across to us, the viewers, on how she's feeling, she's not going to tell Hansel. She's not going to tell the witch. So it's kind of... But here's what I thought was interesting. Because I normally consider voiceovers to kind of be like... almost like a fourth wall, where they're separate. But it was interesting, because she was having a voiceover, and clearly... Okay, let me try and explain this better. I don't attribute voiceovers to the same exact time in which what we are watching. Like, a voiceover could be the night before, or just something they've been thinking about, but you're getting it while this scene is happening. I feel like voiceovers happen a lot during, like, montages and stuff. But, clearly, the way they used it, these voiceovers weren't from another time. They were happening in real time. Like, we were getting stream of consciousness while exactly what was happening on screen was happening. Because there's a moment she had a voiceover, and she got cut off mid-thought because of what was happening on scene. Like, she was speaking while she was doing whatever, and then something, I think it was in the woods, I really don't remember, but something catches her eye, and it literally cuts her voiceover off mid-sentence. And I was like, oh, this is happening. These are her thoughts right now.
It could lend itself to a book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which it's not like I didn't like them. I liked them. I just wish they would have been more.
Did you want more of it? Because I actually wanted less.
No, I didn't want more of it. I liked what they did. I think it could have been used less, but I didn't hate it.
What do you mean in terms of consistency?
Like, where it was. Like, there was like such a huge break before it happened again. It didn't make sense to me. Like, it happened twice. I forgot about it. Okay. And it happened. I was like, what the fuck is that?
I think it was just, how can we get across what she's feeling when she has no one to talk to?
Yeah, I get why they did it.
What else did you feel about dialogue? Anything?
It wasn't really special. No, not anything.
Okay. This also goes into play with how I felt about specifically Sophia Lillis's character, with like saying stuff like obviously and stuff like that. Like, that's just for your lead character to not feel like she's representative of the time, you know, and I kind of hit acting for that, and I kind of knocked acting down, but a big part of that probably could have been dialogue.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But my dialogue score is lower than my acting, so I gave dialogue a 2.
I gave it a 1.
Okay, so that is a score of 3, which gives Gretel and Hansel the score of LeBron James, 23. So, Gretel and Hansel is the absolute bottom of the barrel come see, come saw.
The first 0 given out.
And it didn't even bring it to not feeling it.
Oh my god.
We'll probably, you know, I feel like at this point it's not too late. It's only the second month. Probably in 2021, if we're still doing this segment, we'll probably rearrange it a little bit.
Yes.
There were some good moments in the film. I wouldn't recommend seeing it now. I'd say wait for it to come out on Redbox. I think it's probably worth watching. It was still, there were entertaining moments. It's just not worth, you know, spending a lot of money.
Yeah, don't spend $10 on it.
I was bummed. I really thought with Sophia Lillis how much I liked her in it. I thought she'd kill it, and physically, you know, like emotion wise, she really did. But yeah, I don't know, man. It was just as good as Uncut Gems in my opinion.
What? Whoa.
Sorry, man.
I want to mention that thing about the Drake.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so there's like this music. They play a lot of music actually in this movie. like background music.
I really felt like they were like, hey, that A24, they're doing pretty good with this stuff. There were moments where it felt like it was trying to be like The Witch. Or
It felt
A24,
a little A24.
But it didn't hit.
But there's this one like beat, and I thought for real for a second they're going to play 0 to 100 by Drake. Like, it's got the same doo-doo. I was like, what? And I didn't start into it. I was like, oh.
He probably thought that because Gretel sounded like she's from 2019.
Probably. Although, I wonder how a needle drop from this decade would have played into this movie. I probably would have liked it, actually.
Oh, gosh. Anyway, that is our review of Gretel and Hansel. All right, so we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Charlie is still in Florida. I just got back from Boston a little bit ago. So that's old news. It's new to us because it hasn't happened yet. But when you're listening to this, that's old news. You're going to be like, no shit.
Look at our Instagram stories. I'm sure we're both going to have us traveling.
We'll have you guys vote which one you like better, Boston or Florida. I think I know who will win. So this kind of happened in the past as well, but we had kind of a recent influx of likes on our Facebook because we've had some people. That's one of the great things about networking, and like going to that mixer for last month was awesome. It's amazing what networking can do, and when creative people help out other creative people. So we had a couple good friends of ours share stuff. Anthony shared it and Dan shared it, and we got a bunch of likes. So I just want to say thank you guys for taking the time to kind of support us and follow us, and it means a lot. There's no money. If there's money in this, we're spending money. We're doing this because we enjoy it, and it's a lot of fun. And we both like being creative and kind of getting our thoughts out there. And it's always nice to see that people are receptive of that. Otherwise, we're just two crazy people. When we could just be having a conversation with each other, and we're deciding to record it with these big microphones in front of our face.
Right.
Lock us up. So anyway, just want to say we really appreciate all the support we've been getting and hope to get more. Feel free to share with your friends. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. It's the easiest way to make sure you never miss an episode.
If you do listen and you like it, give us 5 stars. Leave a review.
Yep. Even if you don't like it, well, keep that to yourself.
Keep a lookout for next week's episode. It's going to be a killer.
Yes, next week's episode is going to be fantastic. So as always, thank you guys so much for listening. This is the Seg-Way.
The best thing that happened to you on a Thursday. And the others guys... Oh, the others got... The others got... Others?
The other guys.
The other guy's name